Hello, 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 hello. What up, players? Wobots tail up in this mode. Welcome to my how to paint your crazy ex-girlfriend video, or Banshees for the Mortis engine. I got 3 of these lovely ladies here. They're each pretty similar. The only differences I can see is that this girl on the far right has eyes, whereas the other 2 don't. And yeah, that's about it. So I'm going to teach you the technique on how I paint their robes and hair and skin. And I love these models. Like I said before, and like I'm going to mention many times in the video, you don't have to make them with these long, wispy robes. You could just take them right off the sprue, leave the robes, the trailing robes off, and slap them on some square bases, and you've got 3 Banshee character models for your Vampire Counts army. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I love the method of skin on this white dwarf that I found, and I think that this tutorial is going to be pretty cool. So teach you how to paint the robes, the armor, the weapons, and the skin, and as well as the hair. The hair and the robes are kind of the same, and creates this really ghostly blue effect that I think looks really, really awesome. So hope you enjoy it, and let's get on with the tutorial. What up, players? It's Wobots Tay back up in this mode. Today we're going to be painting our Banshees. So I've got 3 of these ladies, and I actually glued them incorrectly, but oh well. I don't like to follow numbers. So I'm going to be working while I'm doing this one, which we're going to be doing on camera. I'm also going to be in the breaks. I'm going to be painting up the other 2. But I figure this one would be fun to paint. You can see her expression, and it's going to be really awesome, whereas the other 2 don't look quite as interesting. So that's what we're going to do. I start with Astronomicon Gray, or the new paint range equivalent. And this is just going to be just a base coat. So get a little bit of water on your brush, or if you're using the new base paints, you don't need to. And then you just go to work. And yeah, I think like I said in the previous video, you can use these techniques to make Banshees for the rest of your army, or if you're not even using the Mortis throne, the Mortis engine, if you're using it for a Coven throne, or even if you're using a Mortis engine but you don't want to build these girls up, you could also use these models, stick them on a square base. You don't have to glue the back parts of their skirts over here and their hair. Just put them on some kind of base and either hide their feet or convert something up for them. And you have 3 Banshee models for your army, which I think is just, you know, unbelievable that Vampire Counts in this kit you get these models that can be characters in your army. Eventually we're going to be painting a bunch of these surfaces other colors, but for now we'll just base coat everything in Astronomicon Gray. You especially want to get the hair and the robes, because that is what we're going to be painting and shading the most. Okay, so we've got our Astronomicon Gray on our Banshee now, and I actually decided to do as test models the other 2 Banshees. So let me show you what they look like before we continue, so you can see the standard that we're working up to. I think they look really nice with this dark flesh kind of skin tone, and this one's got ghostly green eyes, the other one's got her hair over her face, but really like it. I think it's pretty cool. So that's what we're working for. So to get there, our next step is we're going to take Shadow Gray, or whatever the new range equivalent is. Check gwgamesworkshop.com and look at the conversion chart. What we're going to do is we're going to water it down on our wet palette, and we are going to do a wash of this color. And I don't know if GW's got a new wash color that is going to fix this, but as of the filming of this video, I don't think I've seen any, so the the only thing to do is to just get the color and just add lots of water or thin it down with some other kind of painting medium. And basically you're just going to paint all over the model and just make sure that this shadow gray gets into all of the recesses. So it's not as bright or vibrant as Hawk Turquoise. It's not as blue as a Sermon Blue. It really is just this semi-gray, semi-bluish kind of color, and it's a great base for, or it's going to be a great wash to get in the recesses. Some good stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it focused here. Yeah, you don't want it too thin that it doesn't go into the recesses, the nooks and the crannies, but you don't want it thick. You really want to see that Astronomicon gray still underneath. So there's a fine line you got to just travel to get what you need, and just keep experimenting until you find you know, the result that you're happy with. Okay, I'm gonna go off, let this dry, and when we come back we're going to begin highlighting this up. You gotta let it dry for, you know, at least like half an hour to an hour, because when you water the paint down, and with any kind of wash, if you keep painting when the wash is not dry yet, you'll smudge it, and we don't want to smudge. We don't want to smudge our paint job. Okay, in our next step, we're going to take some Space Wolves Gray, or whatever its equivalent is, and we're going to do a dry brush. So, simplest way for me to do it is I just take the paint on the edge of my brush, wipe like 90% of it off, and then just go to town. Just want to make sure you use a big enough brush. Especially want to make sure you hit the hair and the robes most of all. Oh, my neighbors are going kind of crazy, so I am going to cut for a bit and then be right back. Okay, so at this point, you should have something like this. It's gonna start to look, if it starts to look a little dusty, that's okay because we're gonna clean it up a little bit later. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna mix Space Wolves Gray with Skull White at about a 1-to-1 ratio, or you know, even. And I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna put it on my wet palette and mix that all up, and then do the same trick where I wipe off the majority of it so that I've only got a little bit left on the brush. And we're just going to dry brush one more time. time we're gonna not be as crazy and all over the place as we were the first time. We're really gonna just do a light dusting so that it really gets picked up on the edges of the hair and the robes. Oh, my baby termagant. And then we're just going to do pure skull white. So this is just a little bit of successive highlighting. And yeah, by now you should get this really nice ghostly white effect because of the dry brush. It almost is gonna look like a statue, I think, because of the dusting, and that's okay because we're going to shade it right now. Shade it, shade it. Hey guys. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take some. Where is my hot turquoise master? Yes. How did you know, Igor? Well, you know, I like to be prepared. That's very good. You knew just what I was thinking of. We're gonna take a little bit of hot turquoise. We're gonna water it down, thin it down with some water on our wet palette, and then we're going to paint it into the dark recesses of your soul. What? So be a little random. Just choose like the darkest areas. What I like to do is go with the robes, the folds of the robe. Has some really good shadows. So I can kind of stick there a lot. Not so much on these flat surfaces. And a lot into the hair. I mean, this is such a great sculpt, and you, like I said, you can use this for your banshees, your regular banshees. You can make these your character banshees, or the banshees you add to units as characters. These techniques work just as well on the single character kit Banshee figures. So should have no problem. Get some on my finger. And let's put a little there. And if you're following along with your White Dwarf guide, you'll see that that's all it says to highlight. But what I've also done with my other two girls is that I've added a little bit of a blue wash as well, a Sermon blue, into the darker shadows, just to give them some depth. So I might do that here as well. Okay, then once that is done, is there anything else we have to do? I think this is it for the robes and the hair section. Now I think we're going to move on to the skin. Yep, I believe so. So you're going to take a mixture of Fortress Gray, or its new equivalent, and Dark Flesh, 1:1. You're going to put that on your wet palette and mix it up. And I remember first thinking when I used this color that it was... I thought, like, why would you want to mix a white color, you know, Fortress Gray, a lighter color, with this dark flesh tone? And I didn't get it, but then when I saw it, I was like, ah, okay, that works, especially once you shade it in step 2. I think I might have put a little bit too much Fortress Gray, but that's okay. Master, you're painting her naughty bits. Well, Igor, when you are a painter, sometimes you gotta get in there and paint the naughty bits. Oh, the detail on this model is so good. Like her face, just like this ghostly, rotted, decaying look. It's just unbelievably cool. Try as much as you can not to get any on her hair, because any mistakes you make, you are definitely gonna have to go back and fix. Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, I really had a good time painting these girls up, so can't wait to see them on. Yeah, that's a little bit more like the color I want to go for, but you know what, once the wash is on, we're gonna do a little Devlin mud wash. Should be fine. And don't worry if you get any on her bodice, on her corset, because we're gonna be painting those like the armor that we did for the Spirit Horde, which hopefully has been uploaded already. I mean, I can never tell with these long videos. I try not to split them up, but at the same time, I don't like these super long upload times, so hopefully the Spirit Horde one is up already as of this filming. Right, while that dries, we're going to take some Chaos Black. Actually, it says to take Chaos Black and just paint the armor, but I'm gonna skip the Chaos Black and just go to Chainmail, or whatever its new equivalent is, and paint all the silver. So 2 of the 3 girls have dual daggers, this one just has 1. And I'm also painting her corset. Oh, looks like there's still some of that reddish tinge. Let that be a lesson to me. Always gotta wash your brush off completely so the color before doesn't just mooch around when you're moving on. It creates kind of a funky looking tinge to it though, kind of like that. And all these girls have like shoulder blades of the corset armor, so want to make sure you hit those as well. Alright. Just whipping through this one. Now we're going to take a new color, Balthazar Gold. And you're going to paint any of these girls' dagger handles in this gold base. I love this color. All these metallic bases are just, I think, are awesome. Get it from all the angles, and there you go. So hopefully the skin is done drying. I'm going to give it a little bit more time. Paint some Sermon Blue into various deep shadows and pockets. Anywhere where you've got this hawk turquoise is a candidate. No, I didn't put any hawk turquoise down the front. What was I thinking, Igor? I don't know. I'm not a right mind reader. Probably something about, I don't know, pie. That's good. Thought you were going to be vulgar for a moment there, Igor. No, no. No, it's a family show. That's right. Family-friendly channel. You see that how that really deepens the shadows nicely. Very good, very good. Keep the Assermin blue out because in a minute we're gonna color our armor with that. Okay, next, while we're still waiting for that to dry, we're gonna take a little bit of Devlin mud, and now we're gonna wash all the skin areas with this. So this is awesome because the Devlin mud really makes the skin, gives it depth, and oh, my baby termagant needs to go to sleep already. It's late. What do you all feed your baby termagants? Mine just doesn't seem to want to be quiet when there are neighborhood cats around. Oh, that looks so cool. That looks so cool. These Banshee figures, I think the ones that come in the Mortis engine much better than the one in the single character pack. I'm just gonna get inside her mouth too, so that little shade and definition in there. And I'm getting her hand. And her arm. Super cool. I like to listen to the Silent Hill soundtrack when I'm painting vampire counts. Silent Hill, now that was a spooky game. So we're jumping back to Assermin Blue. I remember playing the first one all those years ago when it first came out on the PlayStation. And those little babies with knives come out of nowhere and start attacking you in that alley. And I remember dying and turning the game off because I was like, I can't die. This is like the first stage in the game. I'm gonna kill these babies. And then I went back in, died again, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? I didn't realize that you're supposed to die. Oh, I love Silent Hill so much. But all the recent games, so disappointing. This new one, what's it called? Not Shattered Memories. Shattered Memories was the Wii one. Downpour, that's what this one was called. It was so sad. I like that they're fleshing it out more. Good series, Silent Hill, good series. Okay, so we watched the silver with the Assermin Blue. Now, the book says not to use Griffin Sepia, but we used it on the Spirit Horde. So even though it says do everything except add the Griffin Sepia, I'm gonna add the Griffin Sepia because, hey, why not? Give all of her equipment, her weapons, and her bodice a very decaying kind of look to it. Yeah, ooh, that's gross. Okay, after letting the Devlin mud dry for a little bit, we're gonna go back with our 1-to-1 mix of Fortress Grey and Dark Flesh. and now you want to make sure that you highlight up the arms and where the light is reflecting off. So doing like a little bit of a layering on top of the areas that haven't been touched too much by the wash. So the chin, the cheekbones, the brow line, the naughty bits. Yes, you go with the naughty bits. And then I find when painting, like if you look at this, when painting the arms, I kind of focus on the higher parts like the bicep here, and then down here towards the elbow instead of up towards the wrist, because that way when you highlight the fingers like this, the viewer's eye is naturally drawn to the highlighting of that leads towards the joint on the forearm by the elbow. Creates a cool little visual effect. Okay, and then when you're done with that, we're gonna take, in this next step, pure Fortress Gray. We're gonna throw that onto our previous mix so you get just a tinge of that combination. But I want to say it's like a good 70 to 80% Fortress Gray. And then now we're doing even more of a highlight, so we're painting on even less than we did before. And I'm looking at like the knuckles, like one straight line down the forearm, or maybe one over here right by the wrist. Really, you want hardly any paint at all on your brush. So we'll do just a little bit of reflection on her bits. And then we will focus on her face. This is where you get to really go to town with the fine lines. Because you get to really accentuate the decaying flesh by just doing some really nice line work. And there you go. It's your wife and or girlfriend in the morning. Get out the trash! Then we're highlight up her arms. Oh, this looks so cool. For this I'm using the, what a coincidence, hobby highlighting brush from the Army Painter series. And it's working really well. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do is do pure skull white or ceramite white. Can't find my ceramite white. And you're just going to throw that on top of your previous concoction. So you've got like mostly skull white and Fortress Gray with just a touch of that color right underneath it. And then with this one, we're really just doing, really super fine highlights to make the illusion of wrinkles and reflection. So rather than lining, I'm really just dotting certain areas where I want the light to reflect over the rest. Like right at the fingertips, the wrist, into the Waza. So it's like, it looks like that. Cool little illusion. Again, you're wiping off the majority of the paint from your brush beforehand, so you don't have too much. But it creates this really stretched skin kind of look, which is really awesome. Okay, and then last thing we're gonna do, if you have eyeballs, one of these girls has eyeballs. Let me show you how you paint it. You take Dark Angel's green, and then on top of the Dark Angel's green, once that's dry, you paint Snot green, and that's how you do that. For the teeth, you take some bleached bone and really simply just drag it across the top and the bottom row of teeth. So I have to hold her at the side, but right on the top. And drag on the bottom. Why don't you take me out anymore? Let's go out to dinner. You forgot our anniversary. Alright, and there you have it, players. We've got 3 super awesome Banshee women right here. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. But for now, I'm going to leave these girls on the side, and we'll glue them back together, or glue them to the whole thing when we're done. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.